I am creating an adventure game based on the classic Snake game, and I was finally able to show it to some friends, and the reaction was not so good. But instead of giving up and start looking for a job like a normal person, I decided to start over and redo everything. Not only will it look different, but it will code different, play different, and feel different. What could my friends have said to make me want everything so different?
Whoa!
Well,
This is worthless.
this is what I made them play. It starts just like the regular game. You are a single block trapped in a rectangle that spawns apple. Pretty simple, but look, there's something different in here. There seems to be a door up there, mystery, but you can't pass through it yet, so your only option is to keep eating, like the good little snake you are. This section is designed so you can get used to moving around in a safe way. If you hit the one here, you'll learn that you will die and lose a block, but you'll be able to pick another one. No penalties, and you can play around with the different controls. You can try running, try the D-pad, the analog, or playing with the keyboard. Look who has eaten all its apples. Good boy. Now you can go out exploring. What's this? A wild yellow geometry has appeared. Could it be an enemy? It's a bouncy little ball. Why is it here? Don't worry about it. Let's keep going. This is the first challenge. A narrow, curvy path. And look, there's another apple right next to the checkpoint. This is my gentle way to tell you, you're about to die. Like a lot. But you're still safe because I care about you. And this little segment was really fun to watch my friends suffer. Play. Some of them, surprisingly, were almost able to clear it on the first try, but then proceeded to die early on, multiple times. Some tried to clear it while running, which was unexpected, and a little bit unnerving to see. They just play the game the right way. But soon enough they did it, only to be met with more suffering, which they all cleared easily. Almost all of them. This section was designed to show one of the main aspects of the game, dying, and overcoming mechanical challenges. Mostly just dying. Death with quick repetitions, so the player can quickly try again and learn with its mistakes. I want this kind of looping to feel a bit like Celeste. Every death is a bit frustrating, but you feel like you learned something, and want to try again immediately after. And I think that I have achieved that. Everyone's eager to try again and again, and they got better at it with every try. But I've committed a big sin. I thought that everyone would have a joystick. I clearly overestimated the conditions of the working class. Playing this on a keyboard is possible, and somewhat enjoyable, but it is miserable compared to a joystick. I did come up with a solution, but more on that later. For now, let's get back into the demo. So, you cleared the first challenge. All that's left now is to interact with that lever, which will open both doors and allow you to proceed to the next area. But now with more power! Now you're able to do a dash attack by pressing the RB button or the spacebar. And look, there are more of those bouncy balls. Kill them all! A very straightforward section. Every tester cleared it instantly. But something unexpected happened. Remember that bouncy balls from the previous section? Well, I thought some players would be curious to see what happened if you kill them. They are not. No one cares. There was a secret apple if you're wondering. I wanted to make a completionist type of challenge with these apples. At the end of this stage you have a counter of how many apples you found. I thought that players seeing that would go back to the stage to find the apples they missed, but not a single player cared about that. Why won't you love this? Anyway, let's ignore that like everyone else did and move on. Killing these enemies opens the door right in front of you, which leads to another mechanical challenge. A short and easy one. To be honest, this is more of an interesting path than a challenge. Some players did die on it, but not much, so that worked well. Then we reached the first real enemies. The dreadful non-bouncy red geometry. Really scary, huh? If they hit you in the head, you're dead, and back at the last checkpoint with one block less. And they are in a tight run, so the player has to be careful to kill them, but not hit a wall. In terms of difficulty, this section turned out to be quite balanced, and it achieved its role in teaching the players about the dash mechanics. Only one small issue. It looks boring as fuck. When I was playing it, I felt like it was somewhat satisfying, but it is hard to measure that feeling on other players. It seems boring. I think it doesn't leave an impression, so I have to work on that. Moving on, after killing all of those enemies, both doors will open up. The left one leads to a room the player saw before with another enemy and an apple. This small room is also designed for the completionist aspect of the game, but it is also a trap. The enemy is sleeping until the player picks up the apple, so they have to react quickly, but then again no one cares about the apple, so only one player tried to get it, and they didn't die. Stop! Then, on the path forward, the next section is a puzzle, and boy was this fun to watch. The biggest lesson that I took from this experiment is that players will do wildly different things than what you're expecting. Check the layout of this room. We have some sleeping enemies, a locked door, a number on the left, and a corridor on the left, a number on the right, and a corridor on the right. And lastly, this is a button that, unlike the lever so far, it is only activated by an attack. The number have arrows on them that, if the player goes through it, the number changes from 1 to 3. If you press the button with the wrong number, the enemies activate really fast and you die. Me, being a small brain, I thought, the player surely will see this and go looking for the password through the corridors, obviously. Maybe die one time at most while testing everything, but it will figure it out. Players, being big brain, thought, I will repeatedly press this button with such resolve that these enemies will bow to my will and become my servants on this journey towards unfathomable glory. My name shall be remembered as the one true leader. And then proceeded to die. Multiple times. One of them went so far as to kill all enemies and try every possible combination instead of looking for the password. Fucking based. But eventually, most of the players went through the corridors. The left side is a precision challenge, the hardest part of this demo. It is divided in two parts, and not only both are hard, but there are no checkpoints in between. Only an apple. You can see here that I truly love my friends. After I tested it myself, I feared that this would be straight out of evil, so I disabled a complete death when you reach size 1 for the demo. So if you die a lot, your only penalty is that you're going to be shamefully small. But you won't have to restart the entire stage. And I'm glad I did that. Everyone was at one block after this part, but surprisingly for me, some said that the game should feel even harder, even after dying so much on this part. So I think for the next test, a complete death should be alright. I also think that a complete death would make the players look for more apples. Why won't you love this? Now on the right side of the room, there's a timing challenge, which was definitely too easy, but I believe it has potential, just need a little bit of harmful intent. It has another secret apple, with a hidden lever on the top side. No one found it at first, but it sparked the interest of the most players when they saw it when crossing back to the main room. They came back for it, and once activated, it made both enemies vulnerable. And once killed, the apple opens up. I think most players did this more of curiosity from the lever than to get the apple, which was also a good learning on level design for me. After that, the player is back in the room. And where's the password? Well, you pass 3 flowers on the left side and 1 on the right side. So, everyone got it, except for the maniacal murderer. Some players instantly, and some had to go wander around a little bit. This brings us to the last one, the boss fight, which is a simple one, but that worked really well. Everyone was able to pick up on its mechanics after a few tries. All it does is teleport to the front of the player every few seconds, so if the player moves in circles until it teleports, then it can be attacked easily. It needs 5 hits to die, which unfortunately is not made clear by anything in the demo, but that's one of the shortcomings of a non-finished game. When it's dead, it spawns a golden apple, which gives 5 blocks, and the last door is open, allowing the player to finish the stage. A stage clear dialog shows up with the statistics, and at this point more unexpected reactions began. As I said before, I was hoping that the player would see this and maybe try again to find missing apples. Instead, some players were simply done with the game, and some others felt compelled to play again, not because of the apples, but because of the time. And my pee-pee poo-poo brain just went. I left the time in there, not for the players, but for me, so I could know how long they would take to complete the stage. But it accidentally woke up a speedrunning spirit with some of them. No one played the game for the apples, but some played to get a better time. And more than once. In case you're curious, when I'm testing a game, I usually finish it at around 2.5 minutes when I'm trying to do it fast. The test players, trying to speedrun it, were able to get it to 1 minute and 15 seconds. And it seemed to be the most fun aspect of the game for them. I was hoping each stage would feel more like a Super Mario stage, which you go back again and again to find hidden items and complete it, but instead I realized that I may have a different kind of game here. A speedrunnable snake adventure game. Or maybe the game is just so bad that people just want it to end as soon as possible. So this is the main reason that I wanted to redo the entire game. This and the fact that the code is written really bad, because I did everything quickly just to have a demo. I already started working on it, and I can already tell it feels a lot nicer right now. I've also planned the entire game, but this will have to be the subject for the next video. So consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.